Welcome to Locked and Loaded Sports. It's time to lock in, load up, and win big. If you're serious about sports and love cashing in on solid picks, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get to work. In this video, we will discuss Week 10 NFL picks for every game on the Sunday slate using a blend of historical data, advanced sports analytics, and real-world sentiment to deliver sharp and sometimes contrarian betting picks. Now, let's get into it. The NFL makes history this week as it plays its first regular season game in Berlin, Germany, where the Indianapolis Colts will face the Atlanta Falcons. Indianapolis enters the matchup as favorites and will look to rebound after a difficult loss to the Steelers in Week 9, while Atlanta continues to search for consistency on offense and stability along its offensive line. The Colts have quietly put together a strong stretch of football, winning 4 of their last 5 games and covering the spread in 4 of those contests. Their offense has been among the most productive in the league, but turnovers proved costly last week in Pittsburgh, where quarterback Daniel Jones threw for more than 340 yards yet committed 5 turnovers. Despite the setback, Indianapolis remains one of the more balanced teams in the AFC, with a coaching staff led by Shane Steichen that continues to find creative ways to move the football. The Falcons, meanwhile, suffered a heartbreaking 24-23 loss to the New England Patriots after missing a late extra point. Rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. showed poise, throwing 3 touchdown passes, but the offense struggled to stay on the field, converting only 1 of 10 third-down attempts. Atlanta's inability to protect its young quarterback has become a recurring issue, and now that problem may be compounded by injuries along the offensive line. The Falcons may be without both starting guards, All-Pro Chris Lindstrom and second-year player Matthew Bergeron, after both left last week's game with ankle injuries. Wide receiver Drake London and tight end Kyle Pitts have also been limited in practice, meaning Penix could be shorthanded against the talented Colts front. Indianapolis has its own concerns on defense, with edge rusher Samson Ebukam still recovering from a knee injury and cornerback Jalen Jones battling a hamstring problem. But the Colts expect most of their key defenders to be available. The Colts have won 5 of the last 7 meetings against Atlanta and have covered the spread in 6 of the last 8. The Falcons have won just 3 of their last 10 overall and only 1 of their last 5 on the road. When these teams meet, the games have tended to stay low scoring, with the total going under in 4 of the last 6 matchups. Both teams will need to adjust to the unique challenge of international travel and an unfamiliar venue, but the Colts appear to be the more complete team at this stage. Their offensive balance, deeper roster, and stronger recent form should carry them through in Berlin. The Falcons' injuries and inconsistency make them a difficult team to trust away from home. We are getting locked and loaded with the Colts to cover. Don't forget to leave a comment with your favorite picks of the week. For our next matchup, we have the Chicago Bears hosting the New York Giants. The Giants enter Week 10 following a 34-24 home loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Rookie quarterback Jackson Dart showed flashes, connecting with tight end Theo Johnson for a 15-yard touchdown on the opening drive, but the offense stalled in the second half, gaining just 39 yards on their final 6 first-half possessions. Defensively, the Giants have struggled all season, allowing 33, 38, and 34 points in their last 3 games. Injuries have compounded their difficulties, with center John Michael Schmitz and multiple defensive players leaving the game with injuries. The Giants have also been historically weak on the road, having lost their last 5 away games and winning only 1 of their last 5 contests against the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, on the other hand, are coming off a thrilling 47-42 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Quarterback Caleb Williams orchestrated a game-winning drive in the final minute, connecting with rookie tight end Colston Loveland for a 58-yard touchdown. Running back Kyle Monang AI stepped in for the injured DeAndre Swift, rushing for 176 yards on 26 carries and adding another 22 receiving yards. The Bears piled up 576 total yards, including 283 rushing yards, demonstrating the explosive potential of their offense. Their defense, however, allowed 577 yards of total offense and nearly gave up a 15-point comeback in less than a minute, highlighting ongoing vulnerabilities. Historically, Chicago has performed well at home against New York, winning 4 of the last 5 meetings at Soldier Field. The Bears have also been strong against the spread recently, going 5-1 in their last 6 games, and 11-3 and 1 in their last 15 home games. The Giants, however, have struggled on the road, failing to win any of their last 5 away games. Given the Bears' offensive momentum, home field advantage, and historical success against the Giants, we are getting locked and loaded with the Bears to cover. Friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you. Our next game to discuss has the Buffalo Bills traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins in what promises to be a high-profile AFC clash. The Bills enter the game off a strong 28-21 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Quarterback Josh Allen was nearly flawless, completing 23 of 26 passes for 273 yards and a touchdown, while also adding 2 rushing touchdowns. Buffalo's offense has been firing on all cylinders, blending an efficient passing game with a productive rushing attack. On defense, The Bills pressured Patrick Mahomes effectively, recording 3 sacks and limiting the Chiefs on 3rd down. Despite the loss of key defensive players, Buffalo's defensive front remains a formidable obstacle for any opponent. The Miami Dolphins, meanwhile, are coming off a 28-6 loss to the Baltimore Ravens, in which their offense struggled to find rhythm. Quarterback Tua continues to manage lingering injuries, and the absence of star wide receiver Tyreek Hill leaves Miami's passing game limited. Defensive tackle Benito Jones contributed in Week 9, but the Dolphins' defense has shown vulnerabilities, allowing opposing teams to move the ball with relative ease. Miami's recent form has been concerning. They have lost their last 5 games and have only 1 win in their last 6 home matchups against Buffalo. Considering recent form and historical data, Buffalo has and should continue to dominate this series. The Bills have won 5 consecutive matchups against Miami, including several on the road, and are 18-5 straight up in their last 23 games. Buffalo has also fared well against the spread in these meetings, going 4-2 in its last 6 games in Miami. Buffalo's balanced offense and overall team health give them a clear edge. We are getting locked and loaded with Buffalo to cover. Don't forget to please smash that like button. Thanks in advance. And for our next matchup, we head to MetLife Stadium for a cold November matchup as the Cleveland Browns travel east to take on the New York Jets in Week 10. Both teams are coming off their bye week, both searching for a second-half spark, and both sitting near the bottom of their divisions with something to prove. For Cleveland, the story remains the same: flashes of talent buried under inconsistency. Rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel has shown poise, but turnovers and protection issues continue to hold the offense back. The return of tight end David Njoku and possibly wide receiver Jerry Jeudy gives him some reliable targets underneath. On defense, Myles Garrett is coming off a historic 5-sack game, and his ability to collapse the pocket could be the difference. The Browns have dropped 5 straight on the road, both straight up and against the spread, but their defense has kept them competitive in nearly every game. The Jets, meanwhile, finally broke through in Week 8 with a 39-38 win over Cincinnati. Quarterback Justin Fields looked electric, combining for over 300 total yards, while running back Breece Hall reminded everyone why he's one of the most explosive players in the league. Still, the Jets remain banged up on defense, missing safety Andre Sisco and possibly cornerback Sauce Gardner, and their secondary has struggled to contain big plays. Historically, New York has dominated this matchup, winning 7 of the last 10 meetings with Cleveland, but the Browns' defensive front could flip that script. Expect a physical, low-scoring game where both teams rely heavily on the run and short passing game. In the end, the Jets' home field and offensive momentum may earn them a narrow victory, but the Browns' defense should keep it within striking distance. Myles Garrett's presence alone gives Cleveland a chance to steal one late. We are getting locked and loaded with Cleveland to cover, with a lean toward buying a point to keep the spread within a field goal. Our next game to break down, we head to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa for a Week 10 matchup that promises a physical, hard-fought game. The New England Patriots arrive riding a 5-game winning streak, playing their best football of the season. Across the field, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers return from their bye with a record of 6-2, but injuries have sidelined key playmakers, leaving a patchwork offense to rely on younger talent. Rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka steps into a prominent role for Tampa Bay, giving the offense a playmaker to stretch the field in the absence of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. While Egbuka brings speed and big play potential, the Buccaneers' overall offensive depth is still limited, and the pressure falls on the line and quarterback play to keep drives alive. Tampa Bay's defense remains opportunistic, highlighted by turnovers and strong pass rush efforts, but sustaining offensive momentum has been a challenge. For New England, quarterback Drake May continues to impress. In the Patriots' narrow 24-23 win over Atlanta, May threw for over 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing poise beyond his years. Head coach Mike Vrabel's team is balanced and disciplined, with a defense that remains one of the league's most reliable against the run. The Patriots have also been exceptional on the road, winning and covering in every game away from Foxborough this season. History favors New England, who have won 4 of the last 5 meetings with Tampa Bay and covered the spread in each. The last matchup in 2021 saw Tampa Bay sneak out a 19-17 victory, but the Patriots still covered. The total has gone under in 5 straight meetings, and with both defenses likely to dominate field position, this one shapes up similarly. Tampa Bay will need their young receivers to step up while limiting turnovers and forcing the Patriots into long yardage situations. New England will look to control tempo, play mistake-free football, and let their defense dictate the pace. With this in mind, we are getting locked and loaded with the Patriots to cover. Our next game to break down has the Carolina Panthers returning home as favorites over a struggling New Orleans Saints team. The Panthers had an emotional, hard-fought win over the Green Bay Packers. That victory was one of their most complete efforts of the season, fueled by a dominant ground game and a late field goal to seal it. Bryce Young has been playing efficient, turnover-free football, and the defense has come alive in recent weeks, forcing key takeaways and holding opponents under 20 points. Still, This matchup against the struggling New Orleans Saints carries a strange energy. It has all the signs of a potential trap game. Carolina has been riding high, winning 4 of its last 5 games, both straight up and against the spread. The team is confident the home crowd will be behind them, and they've been almost automatic in Charlotte lately. But a week after such a dramatic road win in Green Bay, maintaining that same level of urgency against a one-win opponent could be difficult. Injuries along the offensive line continue to linger, and if protection breaks down, the Panthers' offensive rhythm could easily stall. For New Orleans, the season has been one long uphill climb. The Saints are sitting at 1 win and 8 losses, and they've looked overmatched for most of the year. Rookie quarterback Tyler Show is still finding his footing, and the offense has been sputtering, scoring just 10 points last week against the Rams. However, this kind of game on the road, as a heavy underdog against a divisional rival, often brings out unexpected performances. The Saints still have playmakers on both sides of the ball, including Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, who can flip the momentum with one big play. Defensively, New Orleans has been inconsistent, but the unit remains capable of tightening up when it matters, especially against a team that relies heavily on the run. Historically, the Saints have had Carolina's number, winning 12 of the last 17 meetings, and divisional games tend to defy logic and momentum. With the total trending toward the under in 7 of the last 9 matchups, this one shapes up to be another tight defensive battle. All signs point to Carolina as the better team right now, but the timing and setup make this feel dangerous. After a statement win in Green Bay, this smells like a trap game for the Panthers, a spot where overconfidence can creep in and a desperate New Orleans can keep it close dot. We expect the Saints defense to rise up, force some turnovers, and give their rookie quarterback short fields to work with. It won't be pretty, but it might be just enough. We are getting locked and loaded with the Saints to cover, with a lean on the under. Our next game to discuss is an AFC South showdown between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Carries a lot more weight than the records might suggest. Houston opens as a narrow favorites at home, and the matchup feels like a true coin flip. Jacksonville enters the week coming off a thrilling 30-29 overtime victory against the Las Vegas Raiders, a game that showcased both resilience and vulnerability. Trevor Lawrence gutted it out while battling illness, completing over 2/3 of his passes and showing poise in crunch time. The Jaguars found ways to move the ball despite continued issues up front, and kicker Cam Little delivered under pressure with a clutch 48-yard field goal to force overtime. Defensively, Jacksonville finally rediscovered some bite, recording 3 sacks and forcing their first turnover in nearly a month. Still, the injury list is long. Wide receiver Travis Hunter remains on injured reserve with a knee injury, and several offensive linemen exited last week's win. That depth concern looms large heading into a divisional road game. Houston, meanwhile, suffered a gut punch loss to Denver, falling 18-15 on a last-second field goal. The Texans played well enough to win defensively, holding the Broncos to just 223 yards and forcing several key stops. But the game changed dramatically when quarterback C.J. Stroud left in the second quarter with a concussion. Without him, the offense sputtered, relying solely on field goals to stay competitive. Whether Stroud clears protocol in time for Week 10 is the defining question. If he sits, Houston's offensive ceiling drops sharply. If he returns, the Texans regain rhythm and explosiveness. Historically, the Texans have dominated this series, winning 12 of the last 15 meetings overall and 14 of the last 19 at home. The rivalry has also been a low-scoring affair, with the total going under in 7 of the last 8 matchups in Houston. Yet Jacksonville has quietly covered in 4 of the last 6 games against the Texans and 9 of the last 13 in Houston, suggesting they tend to play above expectations when they visit NRG Stadium. This week's setup feels like a classic divisional grinder. Jacksonville's momentum from the overtime win could carry over, while Houston's uncertainty at quarterback creates instability. The Jaguars' pass rush finally came alive, and that could spell trouble for a Texans offense that already struggles to protect the passer when Stroud isn't under center. Trevor Lawrence, even at less than 100%, gives Jacksonville the more stable offensive outlook. Expect another defensive struggle with long possessions, conservative play calling, and a heavy dose of field goals. Jacksonville has more continuity and slightly better health on defense. We are getting locked and loaded with Jaguars to cover. If you're enjoying this content, please check out our Instagram page. Link in the description. And now we discuss the first afternoon game of this glorious Sunday slate. The Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Arizona Cardinals. The Seahawks riding high after one of their most dominant performances of the season, a 38-14 rout of the Washington Commanders on Sunday night. Quarterback Sam Darnold was nearly flawless, completing 21 of 24 passes for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Jackson Smith has been stellar as the young receiver posted yet another 100-yard game, his 6th in just 8 outings. Seattle's defense looked sharp as well, forcing pressure early and holding Washington to under 300 yards of total offense. The return of cornerback Devon Witherspoon brought energy and physicality back to the secondary. On the other side, the Arizona Cardinals snapped a losing streak in Week 9 with a 27-17 win over the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night. Veteran quarterback Jacoby Brissett, filling in for the injured Kyler Murray, played smart, efficient football, throwing 2 touchdown passes and adding another on the ground. Marvin Harrison Jr. continues to be the bright spot for Arizona, recording 7 catches for 96 yards in the victory. Now, when you look at the matchup history, it has been one-sided and not in Arizona's favor. The Seahawks have won 5 straight against the Cardinals and covered the spread in 7 of the last 8 meetings. Seattle has also taken 4 of the last 5 at home. The trend has been consistent, lower scoring games, strong defensive play, and the total points going under in 5 straight contests at Lumen Field between these two clubs. Seattle enters this game 6 and 1 against the spread in its last 7 overall. While Arizona has been better on the road recently, the Cardinals are just 1 and 5 straight up in their last 6 overall and have not beaten Seattle since 2021. With the home crowd behind them and Darnold playing his best football of the season, we are getting locked and loaded with the Seahawks to cover. And now we head to Levi's Stadium to discuss the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers renewing one of the NFC West's fiercest rivalries in Week 10, and the stakes could not be higher. The Rams come in as road favorites, riding the momentum of a commanding 34-10 victory over the New Orleans Saints, while the 49ers return home after a hard-fought 34-24 win against the New York Giants. Los Angeles looked every bit like a contender last week. Matthew Stafford carved up the Saints secondary, throwing for 4 touchdowns and more than 280 yards without a turnover. The offensive line kept him upright all afternoon, and the Rams dominated time of possession by nearly 30 minutes. Puka Nacua continued his breakout season with 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown before leaving with a rib injury. The team believes the injury is minor, but his status will be closely monitored. The Rams' defense was relentless, forcing turnovers and controlling field position throughout the game. This is a team that has found its rhythm on both sides of the ball and has been one of the league's best bets lately, covering 9 of its last 11 overall and 9 of its last 10 on the road. San Francisco's win over the Giants was a needed boost after several uneven weeks. With Brock Purdy sidelined by a toe injury, veteran Mac Jones stepped in and managed the game effectively, throwing for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey continued to be the centerpiece of the offense, and the 49ers rediscovered some balance on the ground. However, their defense remains severely depleted. Rookie first-rounder Michael Williams tore his ACL and meniscus, joining a growing list of defensive starters on the shelf, including linebacker Fred Warner. The injuries have stripped this defense of its identity, forcing the offense to shoulder more of the load. San Francisco has now covered the spread in only one of its last 5 home games and continues to battle inconsistency on both lines of scrimmage. Historically, this matchup has swung in favor of the 49ers, who have won 10 of the last 14 meetings against the Rams and 4 of the last 6 at home. But Los Angeles has had the upper hand recently, taking 3 of the last 4, including a 26-23-3 overtime thriller back in October. The last 5 meetings have all been decided by 7 points or fewer, making the margin for error razor thin. While the total has trended toward the over in 5 of the last 6 games between these teams, the Rams' defense and San Francisco's quarterback uncertainty could tilt this one back toward a slower, more methodical game. We like the Rams, but at the same time respect the 49ers game at home. We are getting locked and loaded with the under. Our next Week 10 game brings a matchup of 2 teams trending in opposite directions as the Detroit Lions, coming off a tough home loss, travel to face the injury-depleted Washington Commanders. The Lions open as heavy favorites. That speaks to both Detroit's offensive firepower and Washington's decimated roster following last week's blowout loss to Seattle. Detroit enters the game looking to rebound from a 27-24 defeat to the Vikings in Week 9, a game that exposed cracks in protection and offensive consistency. Jared Goff threw for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the Lions struggled to establish the run, finishing with only 65 rushing yards. Sam Laporta and wide receiver St. Brown both topped 90 receiving yards, continuing their reliable chemistry with Goff. However, the offensive line was overwhelmed, allowing 5 sacks and multiple pressures, and injuries to both starting guards Christian Mahogany and Tate Ratledge now leave the unit in question heading into Week 10. Even with those setbacks, Detroit remains one of the league's most complete and balanced teams. The defense has been sturdy against the run all season, and coordinator Aaron Glenn's aggressive scheme should thrive against a Washington offense that has lost its rhythm. The Lions have also been one of the league's best road teams, going 12-3 against the spread and 10-2 straight up in their last 15 away from Ford Field. Washington, on the other hand, enters this matchup in disarray. The Commanders were overwhelmed 38-14 by Seattle in Week 9, and the biggest blow came when rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels dislocated his left elbow, knocking him out for several weeks. The Commanders' home record offers a glimmer of resistance. They've gone 5-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 at FedEx Field, but that was with a healthy lineup and far less turmoil. Historically, Washington has dominated this series at home, winning 14 of the last 15 meetings in the nation's capital. However, that dominance belongs to a different era. Detroit has flipped the narrative in recent seasons, taking 6 of the last 8 overall, including a decisive 45-31 victory in Detroit earlier this year that showcased the gap in overall talent between these two rosters. This matchup feels like a mismatch in both health and momentum. We are getting locked and loaded with the Lions to cover. Our last game on the slate is a Sunday Night Football matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Chargers, which promises to be a compelling contest. The Chargers are struggling against the spread, posting just 1 win in their last 6 games in that category. At home against Pittsburgh, they have been particularly vulnerable, winning only 1 of their last 8 home matchups versus the Steelers against the spread. Los Angeles has won 9 of their last 13 games outright, but they face a major setback with offensive tackle Joe Alt expected to undergo season-ending ankle surgery. This loss puts significant pressure on quarterback Justin Herbert, who will now face Pittsburgh's elite pass rush led by T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward. In their last 6 games at home, the Chargers are 4-2 straight up, but have gone 1-4 against the spread, showing vulnerability despite a winning record. Pittsburgh brings veteran leadership with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and Mike Tomlin at the helm. As well, Jaylen Warren is providing balance and explosiveness. The Steelers have been dominant against the Chargers historically, covering 7 of their last 8 road games in Los Angeles. Over the past 15 meetings, Pittsburgh has won 11 straight up, and in their last 6 road games against the Chargers, they have averaged 28 points per game while holding Los Angeles under 23 points in 4 of those contests. Given the combination of Pittsburgh's efficient offense, a balanced attack with Rodgers and Warren, a pass rush that ranks among the league's best, and the Chargers' weakened offensive line, the statistical trends strongly support the Steelers covering this matchup. We are getting locked and loaded with the Steelers to cover. That wraps up another breakdown here on Locked and Loaded Sports. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest sports analysis and betting insights. More picks, more locks, and more action is coming your way. That's all for now. Stay sharp, stay ready, and get locked and loaded.